And this time I noticed we're all filling in this side and we don't like this side over here.
Because you're crazy.
You should go there.
Turn on the cooler all the time.
Hala, can I ask you to move? You don't have to come where it's cold, but if you would sit next to Hala.
Yeah, it is very cold. Like,
Thank you.
like the other side.
Yes, you can.
All right, so let's check in and see who we have. Malin and Rachel.
Yes.
All right. So, a couple of general things. First of all, the final copy of your essay is going to be due Monday. You're going to have to submit it to Blackboard, and if you have any issues, now is the time to figure that out, so you make sure you can get your copy on Blackboard. You should have received comments from me over the weekend, so that when it comes to your final copy, you've got comments from last class, comments from this class, and then the comments that I gave you by computer over the weekend. And by the way, this is Sarah, and she's going to be filming us for tonight, just like before, so I can get some new ideas. And by the way, I filmed you guys because you are my best class. So, you are the ones for me to base my other classes on. So the first thing that we are going to start with tonight are the sentences up on the board.
Is that for us?
It is for us. So let me explain what we've got. In the green, this is the context. So this is imagine who is saying this and to the other person. And then the brown, this is what they say. And I've underlined in yellow, what have I underlined? We've been working on it.
Passive.
Yeah, the passive. I have underlined the passive. What I'm going to ask you to do is, with partner, tell me why these might be passive. So there's a reason for each one being passive instead of active voice. So tonight we're going to talk about not just how we form the passive, but why, and when we might use passive voice. So I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I'm going to let you work with your partners for the rest. So let's look at A together. Context, this is a wife talking to her husband, and she says, what does she say? Somebody read this. That's great acting as well. All right, why? Why does she say it this way instead of saying it the active way, I bought new shoes? Why does she say it this way?
Because she doesn't remember. Something has to do with it.
Something
It has to do with
happened.
money.
She probably short on money or something.
Was forced
Okay,
something.
but then the passive specifically, why use this and not say, I bought shoes? Why say, I was forced?
Actions.
Because why she was forced to buy the new shoes.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't say the reason, which means when she's talking to her husband, who, as you said, he's probably concerned about money, when she's talking to her husband, she doesn't say, oh, by the way, honey, I bought some new shoes. She says, I was forced, so that he thinks, is it her fault?
No, it is not her fault.
It's just, I went into this store, they were on display, and I was forced to buy these new shoes. So she made it passive so that, did she have to take responsibility for it?
No.
No.
It would be his fault.
She made it passive because she didn't want to take responsibility for what she had bought. She wanted to throw that off somewhere else. Someone other than me made me do it. Right?
I was feeling
Is that a way to justify?
forced by
Why?
feeling.
Justify what you did. Yeah, absolutely. See, I would tell my husband I was forced to buy this pizza.
By my feeling.
And he would laugh at me. Okay. What questions do you have about this? The first one? None? Okay. Then we need to get into pairs to do the rest. So let's see. Rachel, work with Malin. Mohammed, work with Pashay. Mircia, work with Idana. Evaristo with Paula. And Juan with Jade. All right, so get next to your partner. You're gonna have to talk. No subject or right. Okay. So you're with your partner. You start with B, and you go through K. Each sentence, decide why. Why is it passive? And write it down. Right here. Write down why is it passive. Did you forget that class started tonight? I do not. Robin, you can sit with Rachel and me. Thank you. And Rachel and Megan, just make sure when you're having water.
I was divided.
Okay.
We have to like explain why. Do we have to write it down?
Yes, write it down, because then we're going to share our answers.
I still don't understand the first.
Okay, let us now talk about what we have. Who wants to talk about B? Paula?
Well, it doesn't say who invited him. So he wants to make sure he's able to go so that because the person that I don't know who can be bad or good person. And it says I was invited, so
Right, perfect, good. What about C? Different group?
See, I think mistakes were made. She doesn't want to be responsible for the mistakes.
Uh-huh,
So,
you are absolutely right. If we do something wrong at work, do we want our boss to know? No. If I say this instead, maybe it was me, but maybe it was somebody else. What about D? This is a fun one. Who will do D? Juan?
Maybe because she doesn't want her husband to get mad with her.
Yeah. So maybe she hit another car, maybe it was her fault, but if she says, my car was hit, it makes it sound like maybe somebody else hit it.
so it's not my fault.
This is what I would say, by the way. What about E? Someone else? Hey, someone else? Get it?
The toy that was broken before, another person broke his toy.
Say it again.
Another person just broken his toys.
Well,
All by
probably
itself.
my toy was broken. Remember, so far, it's because we don't want to name who actually did the breaking. If another person broke it, wouldn't I say, May Lynn broke my toy?
Sure.
I don't want
But what if I did it?
He wanted to mean that he was.
I broke. You don't want to tell you.
But I don't want to take responsibility.
Yeah.
You don't want to be blamed.
Mom,
By
my toy was
accident.
broken. It wasn't me. It's magic.
wasn't me.
By
The
accident.
toy was broken.
By accident.
He wants to make sure he was able to get a work toy, you know?
Yeah. I did what I was supposed to. I'm good.
Okay.
What questions do you have about these? Just these. Okay, we're gonna divide these. We're not all gonna do all of them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, somebody gets 2. Who wants 2? Who wants to volunteer for that? Mohammed? All right, you guys do F and G. Idana and Nirsia, you take H. Pa and Juan, you take I. Evaristo, J. Maylin, Rachel, Pravin, you take K. Same thing. Y. Each one of those.
if it says my purse was stolen, that means she probably left somewhere or something. She doesn't want to be blamed for it. That she doesn't pay attention to her stuff or something.
So, well, here's the thing. It could be.
Responsible.
But there's another explanation for this one too. Can you think of what the other
She's
explanation
trying to
might
hide
be?
the person who will steal the purse. Maybe it could be a friend.
Or maybe not even trying to hide it,
She
but
wants
what?
to get a new person.
She maybe doesn't want to make her friend feel like he did.
That she's like irresponsible or something.
When things get stolen, like think about if your car is broken into, if your house is broken into, usually do we know who did it?
No.
No. So she might say this because why?
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. She uses the passive because she honestly doesn't know who stole it. Somebody, but she doesn't know. So it's not always this evil intent.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's that you don't know, so you don't name the person.
Okay.
What about G?
Okay, if the photographer says to his customer his photo was ruined. That means he doesn't wanna be blamed for. That means probably the machine is broke down or something, but he doesn't wanna be like responsible.
Yeah. And what does ruined mean?
I mean like damage.
Yes. Damage beyond repair. No hope. All right. And that's a perfect explanation. What about H?
Maybe the package was late. Is the way that he justified. He justified.
What if you think of this one the way we thought about this one? When we talk about, for instance, when we tell our spouse, the mail was delivered. Why do we say that?
Because you don't know who did it.
Yeah.
Who is the mail carrier?
Yeah, I don't know the mail carrier.
Probably.
So typically, we'll use this passive voice because they don't know who delivered it.
He
So
doesn't know.
Right.
He didn't know who.
Mhm.
Who did it?
Yeah. So we can't say Bob delivered the package. Just a package was delivered.
Just
Yeah. What about I?
I think that they want to assume that it's not their fault.
Yes. And this, you will hear this from an airline.
I do.
Are they ever going to say, I'm sorry, we lost your bag?
No.
All right, what about J? Are we still in Holland?
Yes, they do not admit that they are trying to get more money from people. They are trying to find an excuse to get more taxes.
Okay, so, and I think you're looking at this part to say that, and you might be right. But what if we forget about the reason and just look at taxes were raised? Why not say we raised taxes?
For them not to admit it's their fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all know the government raises taxes,
Congress.
but they're not going to say we raise taxes. They're going
No.
to use this
It's not a good news.
distance. Taxes were raised. Okay, what about K?
The order was misplaced by one of the associates, but still the company doesn't want to be fully responsible. So I mean the company. Otherwise, the customer are going to like blame. Talk most of the time talk bad.
Yeah.
So he's trying to avoid that, or maybe he don't know or who misplaced the item. So
Mhm.
one of the-
But whether he doesn't know or he does he want to accept the blame?
Does
No.
it not want to
No. Nope.
be responsible for the action?
What questions do you have about this side?
So what's about J? What do you say about J?
What did we say about J? Back to my J group? Did we stop?
Yes, he said that in that case, the government didn't want to accept it, their fault. They are not giving a good news for people to say we did it. So we're trying not to admit it's their fault, to accept their fault.
What if it was the opposite and instead of raising, lowered? What do you think they'd say?
Oh, Lord.
In that case, then you're not speaking in passive voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Okay, we are going to, if you look at pages 100 to 101 in the blue book, that is where, if you need some help, that is where you will find the information for this review. Work on this on your own. I promise you all the answers are on those 2 pages. What page?
15.
You're joking, right?
No.
15.
Oops, you don't want that, do you?
Compare and contrast. Page 178.
I'm sorry, what's the page?
After classification, you go in line. Okay, let me see.
One something.
What's the page?
What were the pages, guys?
100.
100.
100. I don't know, I'm just guessing. No. Exercise 10. Exercise 10.
All right, so let's look at the review. Who wants number 1? Holland? I didn't hear your answer. What is it? No. Because R formed, we know it's got to be a word with an S. Comparatives. Comparatives are formed by adding ER or more or less. And comparatives are when we're comparing how many things? Two. All right, number 2. Who wants that one?
If a word has 2 syllables, you can still take R to make the comparison. It ends in Y.
Okay. Can anybody give me an example of this?
Yeah.
Rachel?
Happy.
Okay.
Happiest.
Or with an ER becomes.
Happier.
Yeah, good.
Happier.
Yeah. Because usually we go by syllable to know one syllable takes ER, but if it ends in Y, different thing. Number 3, someone else? Number still?
If there are 3 or more things that are different, we should use the superlative form, which means adding est or using most or least.
Perfect. Number 4? Ade? Number 4?
If there are 2 different things, we should use the comparative.
Perfect. Number 5? You're seeing?
Adverbs that end in ly are compared using more.
Okay.
Most
More or less, less.
More or less, more, most or less, less.
And an example of that kind of adverb would be, he walks
Slow.
Quickly.
quickly, slowly. But she walks more slowly or more quickly. Good. Number 6. Praveen?
These words often come after the comparative then.
Good. Number 7. Someone else? Someone who hasn't gone yet? Paul?
The sameness is used with what part of speech? Action
Which one?
Actually.
What does everybody else say? Yeah. And he says now because, Sashay, if you look at the top of 101, that's where you find that answer as well as the next one. Number 8. Someone else?
S is used with the power substitutes, objectives, and adverb.
Good. And number 9. Come on, process of elimination. Juan?
The article the always comes before the noun form.
Superlative.
What is it, Carmen?
Superlative.
Superlative. Yeah. And superlative is on the list twice. That's why we used it twice.
Actually, I had noun, but when you tell her superlative is wrong, so
Then you knew.
I check it out. I have noun left over.
Good. Good. So if we are talking about the superlative, how do we say, what if I want to use the word smart with,
Smartest. Is there one the smartest?
With me.
he's what?
With me.
Smart.
But what goes with it? I don't think he's smartest.
That's
The smartest.
He's the smartest. Good. Yes, anytime we use the EST form, that's superlative. Then we have to have the smartest, the best. All right.